What's up, guys? Sean Rochester, 5 Reasons Sports, bringing you my 5 keys for Game 15, Heat at Cavs, November 22nd, Thanksgiving Eve. Before I do that, Finish Line, get yourself $10 off a $100 purchase. You can do that by clicking on the link that's in the description. Get yourself $10 off for your holiday shopping at the Finish Line when you buy $100 in the store. All right, my 5 keys tonight, Heat at Cavs. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. They picked up a big win in the in-season tournament last night in Philadelphia. Kind of a surprising result, especially with Donovan Mitchell being out, but they got good contributions and were able to eke them out by, I believe, 3 points. It was a close game. So the Cavs, even if Donovan Mitchell doesn't play, you cannot just take them lightly. They have a good team. They haven't necessarily lived up to maybe where they thought they would be, but they're definitely talented. Obviously some familiar faces with Max Strus and some guys that we've, they've basically been the same team for the last few years after they got the Mitchell trade. So looking at the first key, I think the story of this game is going to be told at the rim. We've talked about rim pressure. We've talked about rim attempts when Spoelstra was talking in his press conference, and it seems to have at least helped the offense. It's definitely not made us a powerhouse by any means, but the increase in terms of rim attempts have definitely been a good thing. And we'll talk about the balance in a second, but we know the Cavs' length. It's something that's been talked about for years with Mobley, with Jared Allen. They just have a long team, and sometimes gives us trouble with Jimmy or Bam. This year, it seems like Bam is not afraid of those types of guys. He's sort of like knocked down the walls that used to prevent him from being an effective offensive player. But when you're looking at the Cavs, fourth in rim attempts, and then second best at defending the rim. So, Miami can't be afraid to go in there. And it doesn't necessarily mean you need to get rim attempts, because those are going to lead to fouls. Those are going to lead to free throw attempts. They're going to lead to offensive rebounds. And obviously it leads to defensive collapse. Then you get them in rotation. You can spray out to shooters. You get those types of things. So you can't be afraid to shoot in there. They're not going to block every shot. But you also can't fall in love with the fact that, well, they're big. Let's shoot mid-range. Let's shoot threes. And we'll talk about that when we get to the balance. I think it's also an opportunity for Bam to show against these two really good defenders, and two defenders that are different in a lot of ways. But Allen and Mobley are tough. And it's just going to be one of those things where the Heat have to find ways to put pressure on the rim. Second key, I've talked about this over and over and over. I'm going to continue. It's probably going to be a key every game, is this balance that I've been preaching. I've been citing this 30% rim, 35% mid-range, 35% three. Doesn't have to be perfectly on that. Last game, it almost fell perfectly on it. And you saw the result. The offense was as good as it's been all season, really in a long, long time. But the Cavs allow very few threes, 7th lowest frequency in the league, and they allow the 9th highest in the mid-range, as I talked about before. If you're afraid of those two big guys, you may pull up and you get those short mid-range or long mid-range shots because you're afraid of going at the basket. We can't fall in love with those. You got to keep that balance. You got to find ways to get things at the rim and get to the free throw line, and then also draw and kick, spray out to your shooters and create shots that way. I think any motion, any movement, side-to-side ball movement, lots of action, you're going to get those guys moving, and you really give yourself a better chance in terms of having good offense tonight. Third key, injury list. At the time of recording this in the early afternoon, we still don't know about Donovan Mitchell and some of these other guys. We know Kevin Love is going to be out. We know Tyler Hero is going to be out. It's been announced that Thomas Bryant is going to take Love's minutes. I thought maybe Orlando Robinson might get a little burn, but maybe he still could. But we'll see what the Cavs do. If they roll out the same starting five, it's going to be interesting to see how do you match up with the second big. You can put Bam on Allen. You can put him on Mobley, but who guards the other person? Jimmy can go there, but that's taxing. You can put Haywood there, but then I think Haywood is probably the best matchup for Garland. And if Mitchell plays, now you have another problem on the perimeter. So weird matchups. I don't know if it's a team you want to zone a lot, especially with the way that they've kind of increased their shooting ability. But Spo knows best. Fourth one, the matchups. We got Duncan versus Strus. This is what we've been looking for. Heat Twitter has been battling over this. I want to see Max Strus do more. I've been waiting for it. We've been talking about all these analytical things. Duncan's hot. Strus had a good game last night. Both of them can kind of roller coaster. We know from game to game they can be hot, they can be cold, but it's going to be interesting to see, and I hopefully get to see them matched up against each other from time to time, maybe not the entire time. I'm also interested to see if Jimmy can try to target and get Mr. Strus in a switch and really go at him. Hopefully he doesn't give him that the bird like they used to do before the game, but hopefully mismatch hunting can do a good thing, maybe bing bang Niang and some switches and things like that, and getting those big guys away from the paint. Fifth and final key is going to be about rebounding. If we don't rebound the ball well against a big team like this, we're not going to win. When the Heat get 65% or more of their defensive rebounds, they are 8-4 on the season. Obviously a good indicator. When you rebound well, you usually win. At least compete on the glass. They don't necessarily have to dominate. That's probably a hard task for our undersized team, but keep their bigs off the glass, hold them to one shot. Don't give them offensive rebounding second chances. And, the bigs off the bench, especially with Love out, Thomas Bryant, Orlando Robinson, really as a team effort, you got to rebound the ball well. Should be a good game tonight between the Cavs and the Heat. Check it out. 5 Reasons Sports will have you covered all night long on 5 Reasons Sports and 5 Reasons YouTube. Thanks.